Okay, the trends that I saw or I heard in the podcast for the entertainment law update was about copyright infringement, making sure you have contracts, and trademark infringement. What I've taken away from those is when they talked about the Harvey Keitel issue, where he was offered a job by E-Trade, and he verbally accepted the job for E-Trade. Then they went through the contracts and went through contract negotiation. They found later on he was actually told that he no longer was needed for that position. He went out and did a lawsuit against them. Well, the judge ruled that because he didn't have a physical contract, that the verbal agreement was null and void. Um, so with that, my takeaway is the way the judge said it was, yeah, the offer was made, but you physically did not accept it. You did not sign anything. You did not physically say that you were going to accept this position. And because E-Trade did not have a copy saying that, hey, this guy, or E-Trade did not have a contract saying we offered this guy this position and he's accepted this position and he signed off on it, E-Trade was able to hire someone else. So with that, my takeaway is make sure that you always have a contract spelling out everything that you require that person to do for you. And you also make sure that you put everything that you're going to do for that person. That's a must. A next thing they talked about was fair use, when they were talking about a guy had wrote a movie about Who's Holiday, and it was a spinoff of The Grinch. And the guy that wrote The Grinch, the producer or the playwright that wrote The Grinch, sued them, saying that this is a copyright infringement. You're using my ideal. This is not right. So they actually ruled against them too, and he actually wanted to receive legal fee payments, but the judge denied that. Um, the next thing is to make sure, and the reason why he won the reason why he won his fight on the fact that you're spinning off of my ideal, my creation. They said, well, it does fall under the fair use law, but they ruled in his favor. And I think he won like 70,000 or 70 something. I think it was 70,000 or $70 million. I think it was the lawsuit. I can't remember what the right number was, but they wouldn't give him the legal fees. Then they also talked about a company called, I think it's Film Chichella. They did a copyright infringement or a patent infringement, saying that because they created this software, that because they created the software but someone else used the software and they created something, or they created something using that software, they felt like because that person created that new item or new whatever it was, that they felt like they owned that new creation. And Gordon made a comment saying, hey, if Cynthia steals my hammer and builds herself a house, I'm going to say I own that house now? That's crazy. You can't, just because it was my hammer doesn't mean that it's my house. She used the tool that I had and she built her house from that tool. They also talked about the Comic-Con, which is a trademark infringement. And the best thing I can say is to make sure that if whatever name that I'm using, I need to make sure that I register it so that no one can use that, because then I can actually sue them or pursue legal action against them. Just like San Diego was saying, hey, Comic-Con is our trademark. We've registered it. We've got trademark. We've registered with the trademark office. and they're suing Salt Lake, saying, hey, you're deceiving people. You're having these people think that we are affiliated with each other. You're receiving money. You're gaining income off of this name that is ours. Well, once they did that, they took it to the office, the trademark office, and their people in the trademark office says, hey, you know what? That's a generic name. I'm sorry. This is just a generic name. There are more people, even though there is 25 registered trademark names registered up under Comic-Con. And yes, San Diego does have half of those, but it's generic because not only Salt Lake using it, there's other cities that are using Comic-Con. So it's just, my takeaway is to make sure that I always cover myself when it comes down to contracts. Make sure that I trademark my names so that in the event that someone else is using it, I can say, hey, you're deceiving these people, because I've already got my established customers and they're thinking that this company is me and it's not, and it's a misrepresentation. So those are the different things that I've learned. I've learned that you need to have your copyright. You need to have exclusive legal rights to produce, to perform, to record, to do anything. I need to have those rights. Thank you.